Then we have weekly tips and fails. For me, did you know that if you have basically buttons in a form, that even the
Mhm.
buttons who are not type submit, once you click on them, they actually trigger the form submission.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
that
did.
part I knew because I've done that before. So, and
I know.
that's the default behavior. So you don't even have to put submit. If you have a button within the form, it's going to submit it.
Oh, you see, I
Yeah,
didn't know that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
while I was building my Marin course, I decided that not only there's going to be a submit button, that I also put the clear button, basically to
yeah,
clear the inputs right there and then. And to my surprise, like what's happening, like I keep submitting the form, and I'm like, why is that happening? Okay, so I made sure that basically it was done in React, so I prevented the default for the clear one. Okay,
yeah.
and then I decided because of CSS, I'm just going to move it up, the clear one, basically before the submit. And here's another gotcha: the placement matters. Because once you press the return, the enter key or whatever, when you
Yeah,
basically submit the form without clicking on a button, the
yeah.
clear one is the first one that gets triggered. So you
Oh,
wipe
okay.
out
Yeah, yeah,
everything. Yeah, and that was for me like, oh, wow. I didn't. And then I went
yeah,
back and read the articles and I'm like, well, now I know.
yeah,
So that is for me the weekly tip. What about you?
yeah. So for me, it was an interesting one. Again, like I'm working on. It could be any backend. You could do it in Node. This is like in Strappy. So I'm using Node Mailer to be able to send an email. So I'm hooking it up to a third party service, whatever. It could be MailChimp, it could be like whatever. So you're able to easily send emails. And so you like I have this email that I created for the community project that I'm working on, which has to have like, Paul at community1project.com. And so I bought that domain name through Bluehost. And so you need to change some DNS settings in, wherever that domain is being hosted. So I changed the settings like 4 days ago, and I'm trying to verify the email, and it just keeps saying like the settings missing, settings not matching, blah blah, not working. And I'm like, what the hell? Said exactly what the Google like thing, because I got that name through Google, like the .com whatever email, and it's just not picking it up. And so I realized when I purchased the domain name initially, my project is hosted on Netlify, and so I switched the DNS settings to point to the Netlify server, so it's no longer routed through Bluehost. So I didn't have to change the or add the settings through Bluehost. I actually had to go and do it in Netlify, which now makes sense. But before I was like, what the hell? Like, so if you redirect or you change, your DNS settings to point or work through Netlify, you have to do the rest of the stuff through Netlify, which makes sense now, but I've done that so long ago, I completely forgot. And I was like, why isn't this working? This is BS, whatever. But it's good. And then that's it. And then another thing, like, here's this is not like, this is just me complaining. This is a good complaint. So you and I off camera talk about my project, and I constantly tell you how there's always more stuff being added to it. So my conversation today with the boss, literally, he gave us like 6 months of work, but he's like, but we want it to be done at some point at March. I'm
So
like, all
that's
right.
one, two,
Yeah,
three, three
3 months,
months.
maybe 3 months. Yeah, so we have to pick and choose what's the most important part. But like scope creep, and it's just like it's a real thing. But before it's this project was being designed to be integrated with another application, but now it's going to be a standalone project, and so we need all these other things, and it's a good problem to have because that means it's a good sign, more work and all this other great stuff. Um,
So now you're
so
just gonna be extremely, extremely busy. You were already busy, and now it's just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah. But it's good. It's good. There's like a lot of great stuff, um, and yeah, that's it. I'm excited though
no. I mean,
because the
it's
work
it's
is
it's
good.
yeah. I mean, it's better if you're if it's the
Busy than
opposite.
not busy. Yeah, yeah,
This is something, as I said. No, this is something that I want to add. I really enjoy as far as software, where like in construction, there was times when you're literally just laid off technically
yeah.
because there's no
Right.
work. And this is the case where it's the opposite. You literally can, even if you're not, let's say, whatever that you're doing, there is no work at that point. Let's say whatever you're doing, right? Maybe I don't know, recording videos or whatnot, right? You can still build your own applications. No one stops you from just chucking along and all that. That's always been like surprising to me.